Hi there, this is Save with Crypto. Okay, so I'm just going to remove from my Bittrex account a rather strange amount of XTP, and I'll show you why in a moment, but let's just do it first of all. So I'm going to go to this address that I've already whitelisted. I showed you how to do that the other day in another video, and that's the amount I'm going to withdraw. So 493,855.52, okay, which is equivalent to about $7,600. Okay, so let's withdraw that. And I need to do the 2FA on my phone. And by the way, if you haven't set up 2FA on Bittrex, please do. It's I think the minimum security you should have on anything to do with large amounts of money. And that says withdrawal submitted. Now, the reason I am withdrawing that strange amount is because I made a little note for myself the other day to withdraw 493,855.52 tap after 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Okay, this leaves 0.549 bitcoins worth of XTP that I bought on the 22nd of January 2022 at 56 sats. Okay, so that was just before I updated the Telegram group. So in actual fact, I updated you guys on Sunday morning about here. I bought it actually at this blue line here at 55, and then it continued to go down. So if you'd have taken notice of my update, you could have probably got it here, and then that would have gone as high as an 83% increase. I mean, I'm not saying anybody caught the bottom and caught the top, but if you did that, that would be phenomenal. Myself, I didn't. I bought it on this blue line here, and then we're currently up to here. So that's 22%. So I'm not going to complain at that. So what I did at that point, I put 0.549 into my Bittrex account, and I bought XTP with it at 55 sats. Okay. So what I decided to do was to move out everything that I originally put in, move it out to my ledger. Okay, I haven't sold it, I'm just kept it as XTP and moved it out to my ledger. Okay, and if you like, I can link to that video in the top corner right now. So what I've got left in here is the original 0.549 bitcoins worth of tap or XTP. So you can see now the current value of that is 0.64. Now I was wondering if I could sort of trade that up a little bit just by doing some buying and selling of XTP. I don't suggest doing this because I think if you just buy it and hang on to it, I think you'll be all right. And by doing this, you could kind of miss the boat and you might see a big pump in XTP and you're left holding a bag of Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, holding Bitcoin isn't such a bad thing anyway. So this is more of a bit of entertainment for the channel, really, and just something to show you that Bittrex works. Now, the reason I moved all my XTP off my Bittrex account, it was just getting worth too much money, and it's all now safely in my ledger, which you can see over here. So that's a total of 8.655 million XTP, the current value $134,000, which is amazing because I originally bought 2 Bitcoin, put into the Bittrex account, and I bought it at all different levels, but essentially I bought 2 Bitcoin when the coin was $17,000 on average, and so that was $34,000. So it's actually made $100,000 if I was to sell that now into Bitcoin or dollars. But I'm going to keep that like that. So I want this to be worth $1 million, which I think would be incredible. Quite achievable. A 4x from here is very, very doable, I think. So what I'm going to do is go back to the XTPBTC chart, and I'm going to put on the VWAP that I use all the time now. And you can see here that the current price is right down in these green bands here. So what I'm going to do is aim to sell it in the red band, buy it in the green band, and just do that. Now at some point it will probably shoot up massively in value and I'll be left holding a bag of Bitcoin, but I'm hoping by then I will be holding more than the original 0.54 Bitcoin that I had on Sunday. Okay, so that's the plan. So as I say, I don't suggest this, but I'm going to set a sell order at 69. Nice. So to do that, you can just click XTP there. I'm going to click sell, and let's get this price right. Actually, you can just go down to the order book and just click the red number there, and that just puts the value in there. So I'm going to sell at 69. I'm going to sell all of it. So in theory, that will make 0.6734 Bitcoin. So that'll be the sell order. then you can go view order. I'm slightly wary about doing this because I really think it might just go straight through 69 and go up to 100. If that's the case, I'm not too worried because I've got my big bag on my ledger. But what I'm hoping is it sort of goes up, hits my order, and then sort of drops a bit, at which point I'll buy again, and then go back and just hopefully do that for a little while. As I say, I don't think this is a great tactic, but at the same time, if you're a person who isn't into hanging on to XTP because you don't trust it or whatever, this might be a good way to increase your amount of Bitcoin quickly. Just a thought. Now, the thing with Bittrex is, when you are using these kind of limit buys and sells, don't expect it to happen kind of instantly like what it would, say, if you're trading Bitcoin on ByBit, because there really isn't the liquidity in this pair in the exchange. So, for example, when I was buying at 55, the price was actually at 55 and it was sitting there for a long time, just filling very slowly. That isn't a Bittrex problem, that's just a problem because at the moment there's just not the liquidity in this market. But of course, over time, this is going to get much, much bigger. And of course, by then, you'll probably see less drastic movements in the token. So you kind of get the whole reason I'm doing this is because I like XTP. I've got a big bag anyway. I like Bitcoin. I've got a big bag anyway. And, I just want to sort of take advantage of any kind of movements between the two and just use a smallish amount of Bitcoin to hopefully increase it in size. Or if I end up holding XTP, I'll have more of that than I started with. Now, there's a few questions you might be asking, and one of them is probably, why aren't I just doing this on the app? I like the idea of limit orders. I like to know that, whatever I set for that limit order, whether it be a buy or a sell, that is pretty much what it's going to be. And with the app, it does come up with a warning. So say, for example, I was selling 500 XTP, I would get that amount of Bitcoin, and the fees would be that. But then it says down here, due to exchange liquidity, final executed rate may differ from estimation. So that's the reason for this kind of thing. I'm not using the Tap app. If the swings were a lot bigger and we were kind of like a month or so down the line, I may well use the app because it might be quite a fun thing to do, just to have it in your pocket and just trade backwards and forwards between Tap and Bitcoin and try and make a killing that way. I can see that being quite good fun. But overall, I think Tap's going to do better than Bitcoin, so it makes sense just to hold Tap. But that's not the point of what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to sort of take advantage of the swings. So I hope you understand that. Because just, for example, in the last few minutes that I've been making this video, the price of Tap did actually go down at one point, like minus 4.45%, you see. So the idea is, you'd be just trading this range, or say like it was yesterday, trading that range there. And at one point, that would have been kind of 10%. If you were to make 10% every day, that would just grow into an enormous amount very, very quickly. But as I say, at some point, I think the price of Tap will just run away and you might just be left holding Bitcoin, which is not a bad thing. So that's what I'm doing with just that smaller amount, right? The majority of it is stashed away in my ledger and I'm not going to touch that for a little while, probably like 6 months to a year, because I do want that to be a ginormous amount. And I think it will be. Now, one of the things that I found a bit annoying with Bittrex was the fairly small withdrawal limits. And it seems that with new accounts, the withdrawal limit is $25,000. Obviously, I wanted to move out a little bit more, so I had to do it kind of, about 1.5 million XTP at a time in several bunches. And each time you pay 554 XTP, I think, to withdraw it, which is about $7. So it's a little bit annoying. I did query this with the support, and I'll show you the response just in case you've got a large amount that you want to withdraw. So on January the 18th, I said, how can I increase the 25k limit for XTP, please? Happy to do whatever KYC is necessary. They said, in order to increase your limits, you will need to verify your account. I did that. And what I kind of understood by this is the fact that they didn't read my question properly, because obviously if I'd have had to have done KYC to make a deposit, otherwise I wouldn't be able to withdraw. So that's what I wanted to do. So I replied saying, I'm fully verified, but my limit is still $25,000. Can I not increase this? They said, thank you for reaching out. Can you please provide the reason for your request to increase your withdrawal limits? Okay, so I said, because I have quite a lot of XTP that I don't intend to touch for a while, so I'd like to move my XTP to my Ledger hardware wallet for safety. So it is a bit of a pain to have to move it 25k at a time, waiting 24 hours between each transaction, that's all. And they replied saying, because of the age of your relationship with Bittrex Global, we are unable to increase your withdrawal limits at this time. As your account matures, we will automatically extend your withdrawal limit to $100,000. As a reminder, you do not have restrictions on how much you can trade on the Bittrex Global platform. Okay, so there you go. So it's going to start off at 25k, but you know, if you have an account for a while, it will end up being 100k. So I know that's quite a lot of money for a lot of people, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting to have that much money in such a short space of time myself. I wasn't expecting to make $100,000 in a few days, but I did, which is really cool. If you like the sound of that, give the video a like and make sure you're subscribed. Do join the free Telegram group at savewith.crypto.org/TG. Leave a nice comment. Do like the video and, above all, tell your friends.